Hello, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of Ask Rob and Rob. We're on Tuesdays. Somebody has kindly sent in a question and we will obviously return that with an answer. And that's what we do every single week. And the great thing is we get different questions every week. So we get something different to do and you get to learn something different. And this week, we've had a question in about mortgage availability for when you're a bit later in life. And I know if you're a bit younger listening to this podcast, you think, well, that's a while off. Actually, we get asked this a lot. So it's going to be a really good question and hopefully just as good answer. But before we do, if you'd like to ask us a question, we'd love to hear from you. And we make it nice and simple, don't we, Rob?
Yep, we do. All you've got to do is leave us a voicemail. It's okay. We will not surprise you by suddenly picking up the phone. You get to take your time. Just leave us a message, let us know what's on your mind, and we will answer it for you in the near future. To do that, two methods. Just call 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035. Or you can leave us a voicemail from your computer by going to thepropertyhub.net/podcast. That is what Ed did, who has this week's question.
Hello, Rob and Rob. It's Ed Atkinson here. Love the show, as ever. I have a question for you on Ask Rob and Rob, and that is concerning the long-term future of buy-to-let mortgages as we get older and older. And when we take out a mortgage, the end of term, so 25 years into the future, if you're going to be in your 80s or 90s at that stage, I'm wondering how the market is likely to go, maybe with new regulations coming in from the EU or whatever, that it might get more and more difficult, or maybe it'll get easier as there's more people in the market for it, for buy-to-let mortgages with an end of term with someone very late in life. So this, what I'm asking you is to sort of look into your crystal balls and see where you feel the market might be going for these buy-to-let mortgages for people, not for companies, with an end of term when the mortgagee is getting very late in life. So to hear some thoughts on that would be just brilliant. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Ed. Great question. And as I mentioned, one that gets asked a bit. I'm going to add something to this as well. Some people, although you didn't ask this, I'm going to answer this first. Some people worry that, well, I've only got 25 years for my mortgage. What do I do at the end? The answer to that is if you aren't in later in life, and let's say your mortgage ends when you're 50, you're going to remortgage at some point and get another 25-year mortgage. So don't worry about that. So that's another common question, and hopefully that answers it for you. But Ed, to your question specifically, fortunately, the good news is, and I can only talk about the now because my crystal ball isn't quite working at the moment, Ed, unfortunately. The good news is the trend is that there's more and more mortgages becoming available for people later in life. And this is really for a couple of reasons. What kick-started this off was the pension reforms where you're now allowed to take your pension pot at retirement and put it into what you like. Before, you were pretty restricted on what you could do with your money, but now you can do what you like. And of course, that's resulted in people investing in property. So the mortgage market, they like their money, they like their share, and they want to lend to this market. So more and more products have been coming available for people later in life, which is great news. And I can see it only continuing. Already you can get mortgages in your 70s, 80s, and I've heard in some cases it's been achievable for people in their 90s. So that trend I expect to continue because more and more people will rely on property for their pension. Now, this isn't advice and saying you should do it as your only way to invest in the future. That's a whole different discussion. But for people who want to do it, the options are there and it's improving. So, Ed, good news.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, who knows what is going to happen in the future? All you can do is really look at the direction that things are going now and what factors are likely to happen. And based on that, very clearly availability is improving, and it seems likely that it's going to continue to improve. But like Rob said, that doesn't mean that your strategy should be or has to be to keep mortgages rolling into your 90s. You can do that, but then there are other ways as well. But if that is what you want to do, it seems likely that that's going to be an option. Mortgages are, of course, a really important topic for us as investors because, as we've talked about before, it allows you to get such better returns than if you were just buying all in cash. But it's also probably the subject that I get asked the most questions about because there is so much to consider. There are so many factors and there are so few hard and fast answers. Things are changing all the time. It varies between individuals. New products are always coming and going. It's not the kind of thing that you, as a non-professional, will be able to keep 100% on top of. And that's why we always talk about working with a mortgage broker and having a good broker who you trust and you've got a long-term relationship with. We're very lucky because in the Property Hub magazine, we've got a regular contributor who is a mortgage broker. And every issue, he shares a few of the best products around at the moment, and he talks about a different aspect of lending. So you can take that knowledge, use it to build your own plans, and also take it away to, if you don't use that particular broker, to your own broker and ask the right kind of questions and put the right kind of plan in place. If you are not a subscriber to the magazine yet, what is wrong with you? It's only £5 per issue, delivered directly to your door. And as well as that, it's got loads of case studies, news, features, an absolute ton of useful stuff. If you don't subscribe yet and you'd like to, just go to thepropertyhub.net/magazine and you'll be able to sign up there.
You will. And as Rob said, what's going on? If you haven't subscribed yet, you're mad. It's packed with value. It's absolutely brilliant. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you also check out the Property Podcast on Thursday, when, of course, I'm sure it's going to come to no shock to you that we will be back. And we will be back next Tuesday with another Ask Rob and Rob. So until then, keep your questions coming and we'll keep answering them. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.